When are you going to start talking again?
Breathing in your chest, infects your lungs. You find a rash followed by boils. The boils, they will spread, they turn to black. Swallow your body till you're dead. You need to realize that the worst really feels like you. Need to realize your life's not that.
So we took some time off, and during that time, I just used the tech to focus on what I'm going to be doing on my work. And then Mia ended up going traveling and doing her things. She went to Spain for about 3-4 months, and she just recently came back. And now we're like, okay, now we feel refreshed. Now let's get to it. So now our minds are refreshed. We have topics we want to talk. So much has happened that we want to touch over.
Mhm.
And then I feel too, because the next 4 years gonna be so intense, we don't even know where we're going. And so it's like bringing awareness.
When you say, I guess we could start the podcast.
Okay.
How we do that? Since we've already got you guys, what's up, everybody? This is Fidel Talking Again podcast. We're here once again on another edition of the show. This is The Tap. My guest today is Araceli Reyes, also known as Cheli. And you can find her all over Instagram. She's an online trainer, a fitness trainer, coach at the UFC gym in Rancho?
In Brea.
Or in Brea.
Mm-hmm.
And you're an empath. That's how I first got or met you.
Yes.
You know, so what's an empath? Let's
So
start there.
an empath is another word for a psychic.
Okay.
Yes, psychic or being clairvoyant. Or in Mexico, bruja. Bruja.
How many times have you been called bruja?
Just a few. Just a few.
Just a
Mostly
few.
from my
To
family.
start off. Okay.
But I don't like using the word psychic because I feel like there's a little bit of negative attachment to it, because I feel that there are some people that claim to be psychics and they're not, and they take advantage of people.
Mhm.
And I don't want to be associated with that. So for me, an empath or being clairvoyant is the same thing. But it doesn't have like a negative attachment, because I think we're all empath is being sensitive to people's energies,
Yeah.
having empathy
Mhm.
for people. And I think we all have that in ourselves, where if someone's going through something, whether it's a family member, a friend, or for example, the people right now in LA that are lost their homes, we feel sadness for them. So
Yeah.
that's being an empath. I just have like the psychic
Okay.
abilities to that.
Talk to angels, that kind of stuff.
Yes, angels,
Spirits.
people that passed away, saints, everything. I think also like a little bit to the darker side. So I stay away from that because I'm so sensitive to energy. So I choose which side I want to be on.
How do you stay away from the dark side? Like, you watch all these movies, and it's like sometimes you have no choice. The dark side's there.
Right.
You know how they can get into you and haunt your house and haunt your area, right?
Right. Yeah.
Or person, right? The vessel.
The person. Yeah. We're all vessels, and especially when it comes to children or people that have strong faith,
Mhm.
or people that are weak. Right. So as far as children, children always get spiritually attacked, or they're very sensitive to seeing ghosts and stuff. They have their imaginary best friends, right? Yeah, because they're innocent, right? And they're still hanging between the, how would I say, like the other world and this world, right? So their veil's very thin, so they're open to seeing things. And as we grow and as we age, we close that part of us. Life takes over. And but with children, especially under the age of 8, they're very sensitive to that. And then more of their psychic children. If people have kids that are psychic or they have visions, that you have to pay a lot of attention to them, because they're very vulnerable, because they're so innocent, and they haven't lived long enough to kind of cultivate their powers or to understand their powers. So what happens is that you have entities that disguise themselves from, let's say, demonic entities that'll take advantage and come like saying I'm your friend and they're not. So it's easy to fall into that trap. For me, I could sense it. I could sense when it's dark and evil energy, and I have been witness to it. I have witnessed possessions. I have helped with that. So if you tell me, Cheli, I have something in my house, I don't know what it is. It's attacking us. I can tell right away if it's something demonic or if it's a ghost, because there's a big difference between that.
Yeah. Okay, so like, let's say, you know how they say, hey, can you read the room, right? The old expression, read the room.
Exactly.
Like, you literally read a room when you walk into
Yes.
a place, right? Like, when you walked in here, did you get a feeling at all whatsoever?
No.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, that's good. You're safe.
Right.
You're almost safe.
Okay, but now when you walk into, I'm sure it happens to you, when you walk into either like a liquor store or at the gym, maybe, maybe not the gym, but someone around inside the gym. Like, do you get that feeling? How
I do. So
describe that feeling.
It happens a lot. So if I go into a building or just passing a building, I get like, what would be like, I guess goosebumps, or what would normal people would feel like goosebumps, right?
Like chills.
Chills.
The little hairs on your neck.
Exactly, like
up.
that. So I am already like on high alert. Like I could sense, like for me, like if it's like a dark energy, or like a negative toxic energy, I start to get anxiety. So I get like this feeling of dread, and when I feel that, like, I know there's something there. If it's a ghost or something, it doesn't scare me as much because I could already see them or hear them. So it's very different. I think every single person here on this planet is vulnerable, right? And I think a lot of people that do get attacked or possessed, it's either they're testing your faith in God. They're trying to take one of God's children, right, and test the faith, or you sell your soul. You sell your soul as another way. Or you start messing with shit that you shouldn't be, right? Like you try to test it, like Ouija boards. Yeah. Like I will not have one in my home. I don't recommend people to play with Ouija boards or to go to cemeteries and try to conjure up things, or open portals. Yeah. Even what we feed in our minds or videos that we see, even videos from TikTok, that you have to be careful what you're seeing because you just don't know what could come through, right? Because we're all tied to the same energy fields. We're all interconnected. Or even like wishing harm on people, or there's people that are just not right in the mind, and they'll go seek out like brujos and stuff to do like curses. Yeah. And when you do something like that, you're selling your soul. Like you're exchanging a piece of your soul or your whole soul to do harm on someone. So
that's an agreement that you made with the dark side that you didn't even physically or knowingly, willingly made that deal, right?
Right.
Yeah. Because I mean, you can wish hate on someone. Like, let's say, like you're driving, you're like, man, I hate that motherfucker. Just crashes into a wall,
right? And then
it's not right. But I don't think that to the extreme of like actually looking for someone to cast a spell on a certain person, right? Like
it's
that's
very
taken
different.
to a whole other level, right?
Right. Yeah, it's a whole other level because now you're going with the intention to do harm. Right now, your mind and your heart is setting to do harm. You're paying for someone to do harm on somebody for whatever reasons. I've lost friendships because of that. There was this one girl who she had asked me if I do stuff like that, and I told her no, I don't, and I will never do that. And she said, well, I'm gonna go with someone because it was because there was a guy that she really liked, and he wasn't responding back in the way that she wanted to. And she's like, I want to make him fall in love with me. I'm gonna go see a lady. And I kept telling her, no, like you gotta take the hint. If someone tells you no, they don't like you, like I don't know, like believe them, right? Like they're not gonna change their mind. And she was very adamant about it, and we just had a disagreement on that, and we just stopped being friends. So I was like, I don't want your karma around me. Like people like that.
You didn't stick around to find out what happened, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't know if she did.
I don't know if she did or not, but with people that have a mindset like that, like you can't reason with them, right? And so when it comes like that, you just step away and not associate yourself with that.
That's pretty eerie. Earlier you said that you hear the spirits or ghosts and you see them.
Yes.
What is it that you see? Like, do you see someone just like me, or more like with the opacity turned on, where they're like see through? What
I
exactly
see
do you
them.
see? Lights?
So like for me, I see like their outline, their form, like the way that they look when they either passed away or the form that they felt the happiest in.
Okay.
You know, I could have let's say your grandfather passed away, I could see him in the form that he wants to show me.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, so I see things like that, and then I've gotten when I was very little, it got really bad because I would wake up in the middle of the night, and I would see all kinds of people like in my room.
Jeez,
And
that's
so
scary.
in a way, like
How old are you when you
like
put that?
when I started, 4.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was
That's
4,
scary.
and I think when I thought at first I thought it was like imaginary friends,
Mhm.
and then it became very violent. Like then
Oh, wow.
darker things started coming through,
Mhm.
and that's what I'm saying. When you have kids that are psychics, you have to like believe in everything
Don't
that they
ignore
tell
those
you.
signs,
Don't
right?
ignore the signs. If they're having nightmares, if they're not eating, if they're telling you they're seeing things, like believe them.
Yeah,
You know, because they're so innocent, and like you have to believe them. And it'll start like that. It'll start with something innocent, like, oh, this is my imaginary friend.
Mhm.
But because they're so trusting, it comes in different forms, and they'll turn into something darker. Because with children or psychics like myself, our light is so bright,
Yeah.
and so it's kind of like a magnet, right? It'll attract good, but it also attracts bad.
Yeah,
So I
right,
learned to shut that part of me off, so not to see them. But I'm like, okay, I don't want to see you because you're scaring me,
Yeah.
but I'll listen to you. And so communicating with me, I have the ability to shut down, so I don't have to see them, but I can still sense them and I can hear them.
Yeah.
And then this is where I use paper and a pen, like, to communicate with them because it's safer for me.
Okay.
You know, because I could turn around and there could be someone standing here. I'm like, okay, like you're
Really?
scaring me,
Yeah.
not like, you
No,
know.
I've had
So
that experience.
you have to set
Yeah.
boundaries, you know, with them. Even just the way we set boundaries with people in our lives.
Yeah.
I have to set boundaries with spirits when the other
And
words.
so far they've been respectful.
They've been respectful.
That's good.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's good. Wow. I know we could talk about this for hours.
Yeah.
We haven't talked in a long time.
I
It's been a
know.
while.
Yeah.
We had that one hiccup, remember, with the electronics, how it wasn't working, and
Yeah.
that's why I said, we know it's recording right now. We know
We
it's
made
recording.
sure. We made sure that
Yeah.
it's recording.
But who knows what's gonna happen, right? Depending
Right.
on where we go with this. But I mean, there's so many experiences that you've been through. We're gonna get to all this. We have Q's and A's from people that sent in questions, so we're gonna talk about that. I still want to go back and circle back around to the empath stuff in the world and the afterlife.
Yeah.
But you had a pretty gnarly experience that you spoke about in video form on your Instagram. There's 3 videos that you put out about your experience with Bufo,
Yes.
which is the poisonous toad.
Right.
It's like milking a toad and
Yes,
taking this.
the venom.
How do you take this in, like a tea form?
You smoke it.
You smoke it. Okay.
Yeah, you smoke it.
That's interesting. Let's talk about that. We have a lot of questions about that, but I have some questions about that. I'm fascinated with it, but scared shit from it. I don't think I would ever do it. You know, especially like Did you do ayahuasca before you did the toad?
Never.
So you went straight to the toad.
I went straight
Let
to
me
the
go
toad.
straight to
Okay,
this.
so
Okay,
I didn't
let's talk
know.
about it.
Okay, so let me tell you, I didn't know that that the toad venom was the most powerful and dangerous psychedelic in the world. I had no idea. I thought I was into peyote, so I kind of figured,
Yeah, mushrooms.
yeah, and I've never dabbled with psychedelics because of my gifts, because I don't know how it's gonna affect me.
You
I
have
don't
control,
know,
right?
You can't. You have no control
Yeah.
at all, and that's like the worst feeling for me, not to be so put myself in a vulnerable position where I have no control of my gifts or what's gonna come in me. It's risking a lot, right? And actually, one of my clients that I train at UFC, she's like, Cheli, like, I want you to give you a gift. I want to take you to this lady. She does like healing and stuff like that. So only a few people where I work at know what I do. Not everybody does, because I never promote it. I never say it. I always feel that the universe or God will put the people that I need to help in my path, right? So I never say, I'm a psychic, let me help you. Never. It'll just come out, or they come across.
It might turn off some people.
Yeah,
right?
but some people are gonna be like, oh, she's weird, right? And in that respect, how people feel about that, because it is a sensitive subject, because not everyone believes in it, or they close that part of themselves because they're scared, they don't understand it, and some people need proof, right? And so she told me, for Christmas, yeah, the biggest non-believer in the world. And so she's like, there's this lady, she does like energy healing. I want to take you because you work with a lot of people. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, she works with psychedelics. And I said, oh, okay. And I'm like, well, you know what? Yeah, I'll try it. And so she sent me the form. It's like a medical release form. You have to like fill out like if there's anything any like health issues that you have that would make it unsafe for you. And so I filled out the form and I started reading it. I'm like, what am I getting into? So I'm reading it and she's talking about we do psychedelics and it's okay. I checked everything. And then it said the toad experience. And I said, oh, you know what? That sounds pretty cool. I'm going to try it, not thinking what it was.
Not really knowing
Not
exactly.
really. I thought it was just a name.
Yeah.
And then so we went. She's located in Malibu. She has an Instagram. It's called Celestial Journey.
Celestial Journey. Okay.
I'll send it to you. And so she has this home in Malibu and she has a studio and that's where she does this, and she's a professional, like she's there with you through the whole experience. So we get there and we sit down, it's me and my client's like, I already had this experience, I'll go after you, so you go first. And so I'm talking to this healer and she's like, have you ever done mushrooms or psychedelics or anything like that? And I'm like, no, I'm scared of it. And she's like, okay, well, today she goes, you signed up for the toad venom and that's what we're gonna do. And I'm like, okay.
Wow.
And she explained it, like the whole process, that where I was gonna smoke it, and then she said, you're not gonna have any control. She's like, I'm gonna be here with you. And so we meditated before, then we said a prayer, and then she said, okay, I'm gonna bring you a little pipe. And then I told her, before we go, you need to know that I'm a psychic. I go, so I'm very, very sensitive. And I go, and I don't know how I'm going to react. And then she said, she goes, okay, that's good that you told me that.
I was going to say, what was her reaction to
that?
She
said, I'm going to give you the lightest dose possible. And she was going to go like full in. I was like, and so I'm so glad that I told her that because she understood immediately. She said, you're already open to the other side. She's like, so you don't need much. And so she gave me the lightest dose that they had. And so she has like 2 like mattresses and like a mat. And so you sit down and she's like, okay, you're going to inhale the smoke. You have to hold it in your lungs for 10 seconds. She goes, it's going to burn, but don't let it out. And if you let it out, after that, cover your nose. Wow. So I'm like sitting cross-legged and she brings the pipe in, I inhale it, and then she's like, I'm going to count backwards from 10. I just heard 8, and after that, like, I didn't hear anything else.
You blacked out?
I was gone. Wow. I was gone. When I was sitting down, I don't remember falling back. And it's so hard to explain in words, but, like, from what I remember, immediately I just started seeing, like energy, like fireballs coming towards me, and I would get psychedelic like diagram. It was just it was
like
so
a kaleidoscope
weird. Kaleidoscope. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go. Like a kaleidoscope, and I felt like I was just getting pushed forward, and they were all like, it was just coming. Like, have you ever seen like Star Trek or Star Wars? And they take off the ship, right? The little light beams. Yeah,
warp speed. Or
that's what it felt like warp speed. And and then so I'm heading towards all these lights, but then like something just like keeps like pulling me back, and I could feel like this darkness like come over me, and I could feel like my body shaking, like shaking. And I could hear myself like screaming and like making sounds, but I wasn't in my body.
Oh wow!
Like I could hear myself and I could feel my body, but
true out of body experience.
I wasn't in my body. It was just like the weirdest. Like I couldn't control whatever was happening in my body, whatever my voice was doing. There was nothing I couldn't control. It was like, oh, okay, well, I have to keep going.
Yeah.
And it felt like all this like dark matter, or I this is how I'm describing my experience. Like it was just like being pulled out of me. Like I was vomiting or purging, is a
Purging,
better word for
yeah.
it, like purging all this darkness out of me. And I don't know how long I was under. They said like 20 minutes. After like that, I felt like I had purged everything. It was like just complete silence, and all I saw was just like white light, and I felt like I was home. I felt safe, and I felt like my body was calming down, and I just started hearing voices like talking to me, like just telling me, like showing me who I was or what being I was, and just reminding me that you chose to be on Earth, like you chose to help people, like this is your journey.
And that's a voice that you're.
Yeah, and they were just like, you chose this, like remember like who you are.
Yeah.
And after that, I just felt like someone just pulled me back, and then I sat up and I started like dry heaving. And I thought I was like vomiting, but it wasn't. It was just like dry heaving, and I was just crying and crying and crying. And they're just sitting there looking at me. They're like, "Are you okay?" They brought me water, and I was just crying because I felt like I was cleansed. I felt like I was given another chance, an opportunity to like a clear page, right? And then I remembered how powerful I truly am, and my work is just getting started. And now I'm seeing people are humans for who they are, and knowing that some of us are so broken we can't help it, right? There's a lot of us have a lot of healing to do that was not caused by ourselves but by others, whether it was growing up or in another life. It's just like accumulated, or just parts of ourselves where we give back to others, where we help people, where we trust people, right? And we do so much for them, and then they come back and they misuse that trust, and that creates resentment and anger, and in other words, hatred. And we were carrying it inside. You don't realize how much everything is building, right? Because you just bury it. And I felt, because I've helped thousands of people, right? And I've done thousands of readings and healings. I felt that everything that was in me wasn't mine. Like it was something that I was like, all their energies, all their problems, right?
Just
That
all
bottled it in me, and I was able to purge that out. And also some of my stuff too. Like I remembered like things from childhood, like how scared I was, and how I would get treated because I was different. And not fitting in, like so many things that came up, but so parts of me, but a lot of heavy energy that wasn't mine. So I feel like it's just like I just collected so much from everybody.
Something, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but like someone like that, you're like you're empath, right? You're empathetic. You carry and you bottle all that in. You don't really think about how do you let it go. You know what I mean? You obviously like your mind, you check out, but inside of you, right? Like. So pretty much, like you said, purging it and getting it out of your system almost seems like this is something that you may be doing it on a cycle, just to kind of keep that vessel yours going, right? And not just get caught up and crash.
Yeah, because so like after I would do readings or I would help people, so the following day I always end up getting very tired and very low energy. Yeah, and so I reset, right? And I don't do anything. I'm just exhausted. And so I feel okay if I stage myself, like if I do limpia myself, I'll be fine. But it's deeper than that. And I didn't even, me being someone that does this work, didn't even realize how much I was like taking it. I don't know. There's a movie called The Green Mile. Have you ever seen it? Remember the guy's a healer?
Duncan? Yeah.
So every time he heals someone, like he gets sick, right? Because he's taking in all their sickness, and he ends up dying because of that, right? Because he takes in all that sickness, and he's giving a piece of himself. And I feel that's what I do. Like I exchange my healing, my energy to heal someone and to give them peace. And in return, I take away their sadness or their fears or or their worries or their grief. They lost someone, and I didn't realize that that's been staying in me. So till now I know.
I've never made that comparison, knowing you for so long already, and I'm like, yeah, the Green Mile is perfect
Right.
comparison. Obviously,
It's a perfect description
yes,
kind of to explain.
he
what I'm
never
saying.
like got to purge all that stuff out,
Exactly.
but he did get electrocuted in the movie.
Exactly,
He didn't
right?
die from being sick.
Yeah.
He got electrocuted.
You got
They killed him.
electrocuted, yeah.
But for someone else's sins.
Exactly.
Someone else's
For someone
sins that he
else's
saw that
sins.
eventually in the movie. But
Mhm.
yeah, I never made that comparison with you, and that's pretty
Mhm.
close. That's like
Well,
the
when he
closest
heals
thing
the
we
wife with cancer, remember
Mhm.
he absorbs all that in,
Yeah.
and with the little girls, and he's sick after that. You know, that's
It
how I
just
feel.
folds him, yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. I just didn't realize I had all that in me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, do you feel? I mean, do you feel a bit different?
Yeah, I feel
Walk
I
lighter
feel I
with
feel a
more
lot
energy
lighter. I
and-
feel a lot lighter. I feel more my energy and my gifts are 100% a lot more stronger.
So they're more heightened, right?
They are, yeah, much more sensitive. I feel that when I do healing some people, it's more effective because I feel it's just so strong,
Mhm.
right? And so doing that, I've noticed a difference. More sensitive with, I've noticed like with animals, like they
Yeah.
just come to me, whether it's birds or dogs, for example, anything. Like
I
I've
thought
just
they
with
didn't even leave you
nature,
alone.
yeah, just very open with nature now. And I still felt the effects like a week after from that.
Okay.
Yeah, and then after everything was done, the lady, she tells me, she's like, so how does it feel to do the most deadliest psychedelic in the
That's-
world?
that's
I'm like,
insane.
what?
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you talking
Excuse
about?
me.
Yeah, like, yeah. And I was like, are you serious? She's like, yeah. You just, and I was like, wow. So I really went out, and I understand like Mike Tyson, because Mike Tyson, I don't know, went through that experience,
Yeah.
and I understand him now. Like the person that he was before, that had so much anger and hatred inside, so much pain, where he would just attack anyone. And now he's he's like very chill.
Yeah.
He has a whole different perspective.
Very loving.
Yeah, very
Forgiving,
loving,
forgiving.
for his family, forgiving. Doesn't let what people say get to him. He's like, okay,
Yeah.
talk all the shit you want about me. I don't really care. I'm just
Yeah.
here to take care of my family, right? I get it now because I feel that peace. Like you really do purge that.
Yeah. That's cool. Did the lady give you a descriptive like details about how you were, like when you were in those 20 minutes? Like were you just stationary or were you
My client, she was telling me that I was
your client was there in the
she
room?
was there in the
Okay.
room, yeah, and then she went right after me. She said that I was like moving around, that my right arm kept just like flopping and just moving around, and that this one was like just like floating like that. And then she said that I just kept making noises, like if I was like just releasing
Yeah.
like, stuff out.
Mhm.
So I was like, hey, don't tell me anymore. I don't want to know. I'd rather not know.
With that experience, are you interested now in doing ayahuasca?
I do.
And you've done your research already?
I've been doing research on it. I do want to try it. I would go to like a tribal, like either like a tribal camp and have them do it, because I think I would feel more safe.
Yeah.
You know, because it's part of a Native American
It's,
culture. You know?
Peruvian, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Peruvian. With the shaman, right?
Yeah.
I was watching, I forget the name, Enigma. It's on Netflix. It's a Aaron Rodgers documentary where he goes to, I don't know if you know, but he went to ayahuasca and he does it regularly. And he's taken a lot of football players and they go because I guess the same thing. Like they think of life of a football player, like when they started when they were 5 years old, 6 years old. All they do is hit people, just constantly. Like your job is to lay that guy out. Like it's just, you know, it's a sport. At the end, you shake his hand and everything, but what it does to you psychologically, mentally, I think is different. I mean, I've gone to like Pop Warner games with 10-year-olds, and all you hear is fucking hit somebody. You know what I mean? Like that's like that I don't know, like the
ingrained in their mind.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think with him, he was saying something like he goes to just kind of purge, right, let it all out, and be in touch with him. And now he's still a good quarterback. Maybe some will say not as good as he was back then, but he's a lot older too. So, but I think mentally he's in a better state of mind than he was then, right?
Yeah.
The jealousies away. So he talks a lot of good things about it. Obviously, Joe Rogan has mentioned it before
Right.
on his
Oh yeah, he's
podcast.
another one. Yeah.
So we have some of the questions from today are on ayahuasca. So some of these things are very interesting. Like I said, I'm super interested in them. I just shit scared of them. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, you're losing control. You're giving up your control.
Right.
And that's the worst thing is giving up our power, right?
And that's why I hardly even smoke weed. You know, I'll drink, but
yeah, same.
not to black out.
Yeah, same. Like
So-
I'll have my drink here and there, but and the same with weed. I always stay away from it because the same thing.
Yeah.
I hate the feeling of not having control over myself, right? So kind of stay away from that.
Yeah.
But yeah, would I do it again? Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I would have to do it either once a year, just to purge everything, because I help so many people, and not just people, but like spirits, you know. And I don't know what I'm taking on or what I'm fighting against or what's tomorrow's gonna bring.
Yeah.
It's a lot, and sometimes it's just walking down the street. You know, energy gets attached to you.
Yeah.
And or what you see in the news, everything that's going on, like it's so heavy. But I would recommend for people, if you want to try it, do your research, and you know, be ready to really let go. You know, you don't want to. You're gonna be nervous, and you are gonna have some kind of fear because you're like, oh, what could happen, right?
Yeah.
But I think you'll come out of it with such a different perspective in life, and I think it'll help you like cleanse things that you didn't even know that you had inside.
Yeah. And I think it's important to say, if you're gonna do it in a controlled environment.
100%.
Right? Your friend already trusts that person that they went to. They know it. I'm sure someone that they know they trust, they took them. So make sure you're in a controlled environment when you're doing it, and not just doing it with someone you don't even know.
Exactly.
Or you find out offer up. You know
don't.
Because that could be the negative stuff, and then you're gonna have to be calling
Right.
Cheli to get all the speaks out of
Right.
the way.
Yeah. And make sure it's a professional. Do your research on it. There's different types of psychedelics. Maybe start with peyote, slider, before jumping into the tilled venom.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't just trust anyone for their word. Like, do your research.
Yeah.
You know, go to a professional, and make sure because they have to make sure that your body doesn't have a negative reaction to it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
Of
you
course.
might have to call 911. You just don't know what
The
could happen.
worst, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, thanks for sharing that story. Is that the first time that you made videos, but
First time that I really publicly talked about it.
I'm sure you're going to talk about it on your podcast. Earlier when we started, you were talking about how you and me are getting back to
Right.
the podcast. Does that mean she's no longer going to be overseas?
She's gonna stay here for a while. Unless if things get worse here in our country, I will tell her to go overseas, and then just maybe do something where we could just either do a Zoom call or figure something out in that way, so we can keep recording. Because there is so much that's gonna happen this year.
You mentioned the next 4 years.
Yeah, it's going to be very heavy. It's going to be very heavy. It's going to be what we're seeing today as far as natural disasters. That's just the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, kind of what this year's going to be like. The recession's already here, but it's really going to hit many, many families. And everything that is honestly happening is controlled by the government.
Yeah.
It's not all natural.
It's not a coincidence
It's not
that,
a
like you said, the next 4 years is when Trump's taking an office in the next week.
Yeah.
And the next 4 years, you're saying are going to be. Yeah, that's no political statement that you're making here.
No,
This is,
absolutely not. I'm just preparing people to just be careful, make sure that their families are taken care of. Look, there's nothing that honestly we could do now. It is what it is. But the one thing is that you could do is take care of your family, be kind to one another, because I think that's going to be needed a lot in this world. Educate your kids so that they protect themselves, right? Especially if you're a minority. Let them know their rights. That especially if you have sons, talk to them. I have teenage sons, so I always, I talk to them if you get pulled over, what is it that you do? You're going to get profiled just for the color of your skin.
Yeah.
So making them aware of that. Don't have a smart mouth.
Yeah.
things like that, especially right now. But yeah, it's gonna take a toll, but it will get better. It is gonna get better. Sometimes we just need things to come to light so that people can wake up and fight. Because honestly, people have the power if they unite to bring these corporations down, to have a bit better environment for our kids, for our future. It's up. We are the ones that control it, right? We are the ones that put the value of material things.
Right.
Things wouldn't be so expensive if we didn't want them so much.
Yeah.
And there's such an overconsumption of materials and food. That we don't even know what to do with it. We have so many choices, right? Especially in this country, we're so wasteful.
Yeah.
And so we, in a way, do this to ourselves, right? And corporations, they don't care like about your health or our kids' health. We see cancer, so it happens 1 in every 5 people now. Everyone knows someone that has cancer, and that comes from our food and from what we're breathing and the products that we consume. So all that comes into play. And corporations know that. Corporations know.
They use that, right, as fuel to
exactly
to direct
right?
us or direct us to where they want us.
Right, and they make it seem like they have all these actors and celebrities promoting all these products, make so that people that don't have that income want it, right? Because they're like, oh, it's a luxury brand, and just what Steve Jobs, right? He created Apple and all that. He always said that he never allowed his children never owned any Apple products.
That's crazy.
Like they never no computers, no access to the internet.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, no, so if the creator is such a popular brand would not allow their children to have access to those products or to the internet, then why do we? Right? Why do we allow our kids to be making TikToks? Why are we allowing our kids to play online with adults? Like, we're allowing that, right? And the people that are on top, they don't mess with any of that.
Those are all distractions. I mean, you hear that all the time.
Do you see like celebrities' children be on there? Like, it's very rare. Unless they're teenagers, they're not.
They're not on the
so
phone.
protected.
They're not like at the restaurant, on their phones like our kids are, right? And it's true. Like you see a lot of you hear a lot about like creators of apps that themselves eventually say that, oh yeah, we don't.
Yeah.
I don't own that app on my phone, and I won't. My kids won't have it, like TikTok and all that, right? Because these are all like just tools that they use to manipulate us.
Right, just to keep us distracted.
But ahí estamos en chinga.
But ahí estamos, there's me, there I am. Totally am looking at
this fucking funny video right here.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that we do have control over it. If we allow them to take control, then they'll take control. But we do have we can use it as entertainment and solely entertainment. Just don't let it consume you. I've always said it from my first episode that I did podcasting in 2018. We talked about this. How the phone is a great tool to have as long as you don't let it consume you, right? Don't let it run you. Any electronics, right? Don't let it take over. Internet. It's one of the greatest inventions ever, probably, right? But don't let it control you.
Exactly, right? Don't let it control you.
You control it.
Like if you notice, if you compare us growing up to the times now, our memory loss has been.
Oh yeah.
We don't use not even 50% of our brains,
nope.
Right? Back then, we didn't need GPS to get to places. Yeah. Like you just tell someone, oh, it's in the corner 101 in the Alameda. You're like, oh, okay, I know where that is, right? Or go up the north to 10, and you already knew. Like we knew where things were without.
Or just landmarks.
Landmarks.
Passing the Pollo Loco right there.
Yeah,
2 streets to your left. Oh yeah, okay, I know it.
And now we're so dependent, on that. And now one of the scary things that has come out is AI, right? Artificial intelligence. Yeah. Oh, that scares me so much.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have Chat GPT on my phone at all because not only the cause the harmful effects it has on our environment, on the resources of water, right? Because it uses like so many ounces of water for every time that you use it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's that's what feeds it, right? So I think it's like something like 6 ounces of water for every question that you ask or something. Damn. So imagine millions of people.
That means a lot of people in LA ask a lot of questions.
Yeah, that's where all the water went. Yeah, that's where all the water went.
All through AI.
Yeah, that's what it's. That's
Try
what
not to make jokes on this situation right here.
But but what's happening is that we're not using our mind to be creative. we're not using our mind to do research. We're just asking something and they're just spitting out that information.
Google it.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And it's like, so we're not reading, we're not writing anymore. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's so sad. We're making ourselves dumb.
Mhm.
That's what we're doing.
And we're all buying into it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, it's very it's a crazy world, and the fact that they have all these robots now that look like human.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It
Yeah.
scares
Have you
me.
been to one of those restaurants where the robot serves you?
Not yet.
Oh man, I went
No.
to one, and believe it or not, it was in the city of Commerce, and it really looked like a hole in the wall restaurant.
Mhm.
And we went in there, and sure enough, so a waiter came and took our order, and a robot came out with all our food. Just came out, and then the server came and took it from the robot's
Mhm.
I don't know, whatever carriage, and was able to distribute it. But I mean, who's to say that robot comes and you can just grab your own dish? Oh, I ordered this. Okay, boom, boom, boom.
Right.
And nowadays you can scan a QR code on your table and the menu's there. You can order it. It gets sent to the kitchen. The kitchen makes it, puts it onto the robot. I mean,
right.
it's insane. It's crazy. And that's just the beginning.
Mhm.
We're 2024, 25.
Yeah.
We're in 2025. Can you imagine what this is going to be like in 2 years?
Mhm. Yeah, it's gonna and if that type of intelligence, it's only going to get smarter, and it's going to do away with all of us.
Yeah.
Right? They're not going to need us. If it's cheaper to pay a robot and they'll make less mistakes,
Mhm.
and they don't have to pay workers' comp or holidays or overtime, then hire the robot, right?
Yeah.
And what happens to us? We're just
going to be there, like
Yeah.
the movie Terminator.
exactly, or like Terminator. Oh my gosh, like that.
Same thing.
Or what's that one cartoon with the robot? Wally.
Wally.
Yeah, so that was the whole purpose of it, where people they got so lazy and they couldn't walk around, and the
They were
planet
just
was
like
destroyed.
sitting there like a floating head almost, right?
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah,
that.
that's where we're going. We're going into
Jeez,
Wally's
It's gonna be a
world.
bunch of blobs.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
we can't
so
let
sad.
that happen, Like
It's still
It's
the
hard.
point, yeah. That
it's hard,
we could.
when your kids are involved with all this and they're growing up with this technology.
Mhm.
But it's hard.
It'll be up
But
to them.
it is. But I think we still have. It's our job as parents to like control that part of that.
Right.
Where of course you could use it as a tool, but still know that it's okay to look at someone in the eyes when you're talking to them. Like you don't have to.
Right.
You can speak in full sentences. You don't have to use abbreviations when
Right.
you speak. Right? BRB.
Mhm.
But it is our job. It starts in the household. We
It
still have
really
to. We
does.
still have to do that. I think,
Yeah,
as parents.
my youngest one, he's 11. He doesn't have a cell phone.
Mhm.
We'll give him like our old cell phones because they have games already. It's
Oh, okay.
like the games that come with the
Use the
phone.
Wi-Fi. On
Yeah, and that's what he'll use.
Mhm.
But as far as an active cell phone, to text or anything like that, to call, he doesn't have that. Because there's no need, because the school's down the street. We drop him off, we pick him up, and he does he'll play games, but during the week we have a cap, like we control the time so that it expires.
Oh, okay.
So we'll allow him, like, during the week he can play 2 hours on school days if his homework is done and his grades are good. If not, then he's not allowed to game. On the weekends, it's maxed out at 4.
Oh,
And so once the time expires, that's it. He gets no more time,
Oh.
and he has to find something else to do.
nice.
So it's like our way of controlling
Yeah.
how much exposure he has,
That's good.
and he has to. I have to hear who he's talking to.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I have to hear.
No closed
but-
doors.
Exactly, no closed doors. Yeah, who are you yelling at?
Yeah.
And but unfortunately, that's the way it has to be
Yeah.
right now.
It's scary. It's not easy. I mean, I always say it wasn't easy for our parents to raise us in that time because times changed from when they were kids. Just like for us, raising our kids different than when we were kids. It's gonna be like this forever. When our kids have kids,
It'll be something else.
something totally different. So it was hard. It's
They'll
just
be
that
like, don't talk to robots.
Yeah.
Don't trust robots.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It's just it's like a cycle. It's the same thing over and over again. But I just somehow feel like right now we're in this era where it's a major change. Like a major change. I still think the 90s were the best. 80s, and 80s,
I agree.
90s.
I agree.
So I'll always say this, and I'll take it to my grave. Right?
Mhm.
Ours was the best decade. But going to that, it's like I think it is the hardest too because of the technology. It's such a big it's a huge technology. Think about when they first got electricity to when we were kids, right? Not I mean major changes, but nothing like the internet.
Right.
Like the internet and having something in your fingertips where you can just ask it to do whatever you want and it'll pretty much do it,
Yeah.
right?
It advanced so much
It's
since
crazy.
when it started back then.
Yeah.
We're so limited. It was mostly used for like research,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And then there was
School,
like
yeah.
some chat rooms,
Mhm.
and but other than that, and it would take forever, like just to get online.
If you had dial-up, right?
Yeah.
It was unfortunate ones with that free internet.
Then
It took
and then you
forever.
couldn't be there for a little bit because
Couldn't be on the phone?
Yeah, because you couldn't be on the house phone. Yeah, so true.
Yeah.
But
times.
I mean, it's like with anything in life, right? You have your good and your bad. It's the people that make it bad or
Yeah.
use it for bad choices, or like you said, we don't monitor. You know.
Our kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I said I wanted to circle back to the empath, the empath world, because I had some questions that I wanted to ask you, other than the questions that we got in from our listeners. But earlier we talked about how when you walk into a room and you read the room, you literally have to read that room.
Right.
So when that happens to you, do you ignore them for the most part, or is there something so powerful that you have to like? I gotta address this
I
issue.
have to address it.
Okay.
I have to address it, especially if it's.
How do you go about doing it?
So if I walk into, like, for example, yesterday I had to sage because I sage homes on the side. So I went. This couple just bought a new home, and I went to go sage it. As soon as I stepped in, I already see spirits, and they're talking to me now. But it wasn't like bad. It was like family that passed on. So it's like, okay, I'll get to you. Let me just do what I gotta do. Like, just be patient. If it's something like that, I have control over it. If I walk in, 2 years ago, I did an apartment where it was a dark energy, you know, almost like demonic. And so, what that one took, I would say about 2 or 3 hours to clean that home, because it wasn't just saging; it was like praying and making, you know, whatever was in there that was terrifying the kids to make sure that it was completely gone. So that took everything. And that immediately I have to address. Like, as soon as I walked in, it's like, okay, I feel you. Like, all right, I know you're here, but I'm stronger, you know, because I have God with me. When you have God with you, or the faith of God, there's nothing that's so evil that will prevail over God. Nothing. But it's up to you if you have that faith, right? So in that case, I immediately had the family step outside because I knew it was going to be unsafe for them. So I had the family step outside, and then just going into the rooms and praying, and just, you know, lights turning on and off, and, you know, and just trying to get away from one room that I bless and going to another. It's just like a constant battle. And then after, when I feel like it's gone, or where it won't be a threat to the family, because I might have to go back. If it's something that's so powerful that I can't do it on my own, I won't take that on. I'll refer them to a priest.
How do you know that it's so powerful that you can't even get started? How would I know?
Like, if it's something if it's
too
like
powerful.
if it's a demon and let's say they're possessing someone, I cannot take it. I can't, because they mess with you, right? They isolate you. They make you feel that you're alone, and you could put that person that's possessed or whatever's in that in danger, right? You could lose a soul. So when it's something like that, I won't take that on. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen a possession firsthand, and it's still ingrained in my mind, and it was one of the most scariest things that I've ever experienced in my life. And I realized how powerful it is and how strong it is, and knowing that you have to have a priest and like a whole group of people to help you, because just one person won't be enough. You know, because they'll mess with you, and so it'll test your faith, right? It'll test your faith, and it'll try to speak, like stop you from knowing prayers or trying to say prayers. When I go in, if I can't pray, like if I can't say something as simple as the Our Father that's trying to stop me, and I start getting tongue tied, I know immediately, okay, this is something bigger than me. And then I'll tell them, I'm going to refer you to someone that's stronger than me
Yeah.
because they have more people to back them up, and then I'll refer
More
them to that.
resources, right? Yeah.
Right, more resources. Yeah, because that's too much for
Yeah,
a
that's
person.
heavy. That's heavy.
Yeah. So.
Like I had this conversation with my son yesterday about afterlife.
Mhm.
You know, he like him. When I was young, I used to worry a lot about that. Like, what happens when you die? You know, sometimes even cry, which is kind of weird. But then again, I don't know how weird is it because my son might, you know, he goes through it. He doesn't cry about it anymore, but he often questions that, like, what when you die, what happens? You know, like, and I like to quote like Drago from Rocky Four, where he goes, "If you die, you die," or "If he dies, he dies." And sometimes I like to think that, well, when you die, and that's it.
Mhm.
Lights out, life goes on. Everybody will mourn you for a little bit, and then life continues. But that's if you believe that, right? If you
Right.
believe in afterlife, heaven, hell, if there is one, then that's something that is a belief and something that probably is this whole world is lacking right now, belief and faith.
100%.
But when people are struggling with that, what do you do or say to kind of get them back on that boat
So
of believing?
if someone asks me about what happens when we die,
Mhm.
I said, well, you leave your physical body, but you keep living in a different form.
Yeah.
You're go back to your true self, which is your soul, your physical energy.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Your body, your physical body, that's just your temporary home. That part of you is done. Like that did its job, right? And you keep now you go on into your true self. You keep living, but just in a different way, right? And so there is the afterlife. There's different levels of it. I think me and Mia talked about this in a podcast. There's like different levels in the afterlife.
Yeah.
We have, the people that just passed away. Where the spirits are still trying to even know that some people souls don't even know that they're dead.
Yeah.
So you have that, and then you have another level where people are waiting to reincarnate. They're still learning their lessons. Then you have like purgatory, where people have to replay, or what's called hell, right? And then you have another level where maybe you're advancing higher up. Like you already reincarnated so many times, you already learned the lesson that your soul was supposed to learn. And then you have heaven, right? And just like there's a female, there's a male, there's heaven, and there's hell. And there is, right? You can't have one without the other, just the way there's the sun and the moon, right? But the thing is that it is so easy for people to believe first in evil than it is to believe in good, right? Why people question God more than them questioning the devil, right? Because everybody has experiences, and why is that, right? Because the devil wants to play with us. They want us to test our faith, right? So they'll appear, they'll play. You'll see something passing, and like, what the hell is that? So it's so easy, right, to believe in the darker side than it is to believe in God, right? Because it's people are stuck in this human world, right, where they lose that relationship with God, with the spiritual side, and that's because they've been through so much pain in this world, and so many bad things have happened to them, and they feel like God's abandoned them. So when you feel that someone has abandoned you, then you lose that relationship, and you don't want nothing to do with it. It's like, why am I? There's no God. If there's a God, I would have lost my mom. If there's a God, I would have lost my job. My kid, I would have lost my child, or this wouldn't have happened. We're so quick to blame God, right? But we forget to understand that if we don't experience loss, we will never grow. Without sadness, we won't appreciate happiness, right? Without being broke, we won't appreciate having a job. You have to just all the negative and dark experiences are necessary. They're part of our journey, so that we do appreciate the good. And it's not that God abandoned you; it's that you abandoned God, your faith. So when your son, is questioning you, like your answer is the answer of whatever human would be like, well, nothing happens because we don't know what happens, right?
Right.
We haven't experienced that. But there is a lot more to that. You do keep on living because his fear is the fear of losing like you
Right.
or his mom,
Mhm.
right? And so that fear is real to him. And so for him, it's like, no, we continue living just in a different form. And even if something happens to me, I will always watch over you. I will always be there because it's true,
Mhm.
right? And that's gonna add peace and comfort, knowing, okay, I know that even if my dad passed away, I know he's always gonna be with me. He's always gonna be in my heart. He's always gonna be watching over me. That
Yeah.
kind of lessens that fear,
Yeah.
But as far as the afterlife, yeah, absolutely.
Have you? I mean, this might be a funny question or not, but or dumb, silly, but have you ever asked that to any like a spirit that you see or come across? Like, hey, how was it? Like your transition to the afterlife? Have you had that conversation?
I've had people ask me like to ask their loved ones if they're okay or if they're hurting or they're in pain. From my conversations that I know, like they're at peace, because there's no human emotion or ego, which is part of the physical body, attached to that. So they're in true peace, right?
Yeah.
And it's a different experience for each spirit. Every spirit is at a different level of their journey. But from what I know is that they don't have the feelings that we have. Like they don't have that human experience.
Yeah.
It's all the pain that they had. Let's say they had health issues or trauma. All that pain is gone. They don't feel.
There's no jealousy.
There's
No.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just love, and just happiness and peace.
Yeah.
There's nothing, and that's why they could guide you right on the right path, because there's no doubt, there's no worry, there's no fear, there's no hatred, there's no jealousy, no envy, there's no disease, there's nothing.
Yeah.
Just pure energy, pure love. And I think that's why a lot of us always feel out of place in this world. No matter what we have, it's never enough. Right? We're always missing something.
And we focus too much on the negative, right?
We're always focusing on what we don't have.
Yeah.
All the time. It's like we're always focusing on the things that we're missing, right? And so we're never going to be satisfied. We're never going to be happy. But sometimes what you're seeking, you can't get it in this world. It's not here. You have to wait till you pass on. What we're mourning for is bigger than what we have in this world. And it's never going to be fulfilled.
What is that? True happiness then, right? Yeah.
True happiness and being truly loved, right? People could love you, but like someone to love you for your flaws and mistakes, your true self, who you are, like that kind of love, unconditional love, is not in this world. That comes from God.
Yeah.
And we're always going to be seeking that. And that's like, when they say, open your heart to God, is like opening to loving yourself, respecting yourself, and not having, like, understanding that when things happen to us, it's for a reason. Either we learn from those lessons, right? Or, we become better, or we get stuck in that same routine.
Yeah.
Right. So
insanity, right? Doing it over and over again.
Exactly. Yeah. And then you're living life with no purpose. And then giving that understanding to your kids, because I also coach elementary schools. And
what do you coach them?
PE. Yeah. Okay. So some of these kids, they already have so much trauma and so much sadness, and they're kids. They should have a beautiful childhood. And I've seen kids break down, like cry. I've seen kids are so angry. I see kids that they think they're stupid and dumb because because nobody cares to take their time with them, right, to teach them, or their parents are busy working and they have the burden of being the older sibling and watching their little brothers and sisters. Plus, they have to take care of themselves. Plus, they have to keep the house clean. Plus, they have to do homework. And if your little brother didn't do the homework, hey, it's your fault. because I'm working, you're supposed to help your little
Yeah.
brother. And this poor child is falling behind, and they break down, and then they turn into negative influences. They turn to drugs, not all of them, or they get depressed, or they turn to social media for attention. They turn to all these different outlets because they're not getting that love and that support, right? And it's not because their parents don't love them. It's because we live in a different world where, hey, both people have to work because
Yeah.
everything's so damn expensive, right? It's so different. It's a luxury for someone to have, a mom or dad stay at home,
Yeah.
right? That's a luxury now. And so it starts from such a young age.
Yeah.
And you have to be honest with your kids. Like when your son has questions, when your boys have questions, be straight out. Like don't sugarcoat anything, but also teach them, like, as bad as it may be, God will always be there, and He will never let you fail.
Yeah.
But it's up to you if you decide to take His hand or not. Do you want to take the lifeline, or do you want to just cut it and stay in wherever you're
Your
at?
funk, yeah.
Yeah.
That's deep. Yeah. I encourage everyone to do the same. Reach out to somebody if you're feeling like that and get that answer that you need. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
How reachable are you, Cheli, online?
Like online, I'm very reachable. I always tell people if they need help to just send me a message, and I never charge for readings, right? I have nothing to gain from that because it's one of my missions, honestly, is to out like any fake psychics that take advantage of people and call them out and debunk them, because I feel like readings, that's a gift that I have, to be able to see the future or to help someone connect with somebody that they lost. That's a gift. And Jesus was out there healing the sick, right, and casting demons and helping the poor, and He never asked for anything back.
Yeah.
Right? All He asked is, like, don't disrespect me or my Father, and be kind to one another. That was it. And I'm not gonna say that I'm Jesus, but I'm saying, like, if someone so powerful and amazing like that didn't ask for anything in return, then who the hell am I to charge someone and take advantage of their pain and their suffering and their confusion? Like, I would never do that.
Which many people do.
Yeah, and then they take advantage of that. They're like, oh, your husband left you, or he's cheating on you. Oh, give me $500. I'm gonna have him come back to you. And then you have these poor women that'll come and pay that money, and the next thing you know, it's $1,000. Oh, it didn't work. I need more money, and they're draining their savings. And it's so sad. And people take advantage of that. So when it comes to like readings, I'll just message me and I'll send you like an appointment link, and they book a reading. Even like for life coaching, I do all my life coaching services, which is like therapy services, online or by Zoom. Even those are very inexpensive. I'm trying to help people. I'm not trying to break them, financially. But that anybody's going through something, I'm more than happy. I'll do whatever I can, and if I can't help them, I'll refer them to someone else. Because there's some cases where I have to turn away, where I'm like, I just can't help you. Or it's just like there's nothing, like, whatever advice I give you or whatever reading I give you, like, you're still doing the opposite, because you're hoping for something that's not going to be, or if it's something, like I said, stronger than me or more powerful than me, I won't take that on. I'll refer them. And I hate doing that, but I have to think of my safety and the safety of my children and the people around me, because I don't want anything to attach to me and then bring it home.
Of course not.
Right? So I have to be very careful with that. But I think that when you heal yourself and when you obtain, when you get in the capacity to give back, please give back. And it doesn't have to be money. It could just be your time. It could be listening to someone, volunteering. It just helping one person. Then you've done good in this world. Oh, yeah. That's the way that I see it.
No, I believe that. I believe that so much, because that's the rewarding part, is when you can help someone, and even when you don't get a thank you, but just feeling like knowing that you did something, you helped someone out. that's just rewarding enough.
Right.
Like, I don't need a thank you. It'd be cool if someone was to say thank you,
Right.
but you don't need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, I'm at that
exactly.
point where I don't need it. Like, it's especially with kids because I volunteer with like baseball. I haven't done it in a while. I'm gonna start doing it again with my little one, and that's always been the rewarding thing. Was like kids like that that just need some little bit of guidance,
Right.
and you're there, and not a lot of kids are quick to say thank you, and that's okay, especially when they're 6 years old. But it's rewarding just knowing that you were there. You had a little bit of impact in their life, you know.
Yeah, and then
in
when
a
it
positive
comes,
way.
yeah, and then when it comes to kids, like you're their role model, right? Even if they, like you said, even if they don't say thank you, they do appreciate it. Because, like for me, like this is one of the things I teach my kids. If like a kid talks back to me or walks away when I'm trying to talk to them, then one of the other kids will be like, "Oh, it's okay, coach. That's just a bad kid." And I'll be like, "Whoa, no, no, no."
Yeah.
I immediately shut that down. Like, no, there's no. And I'm like, "Honey, like, there's no such thing as a bad kid." I said, he's going or she's going through something, but we don't judge. We don't know what kind of environment they have at home. They go, but they go, don't ever say that they're a bad kid. There's no such things as bad kids.
Yeah, it's
like,
just bad situations.
Bad situations, exactly. So that's one of the things I try to teach my students, that everyone's good in my eyes. And those supposedly the bad kids, because teachers say it too, and I've seen it and I've heard it. Oh, just ignore them. That's just the way that they are, right? And they don't want to help because they gave up on them a long time ago.
That's the worst when you give up on the kids.
Yeah, and to see like, and that's coming from principals and teachers where they just turn an eye, like I'm not going to deal with him. Like just let him sit in the corner, and they separate these kids, and only because maybe they need a little bit more attention. Maybe they can't understand what's on the paper and they just need more help, or maybe they're slow readers. You just don't know, right? And these kids fall behind, and when I help them, when I sit down and really talk to them, they appreciate that, and their whole attitude changes. And it just makes you like feel good, like, okay, that's one kid.
That's rewarding.
Maybe I made a little impression. Maybe when he's an adult, he'll remember my words. Or you always have that one role model in your life from your childhood, that one teacher that you like, that one coach, that one of your friends' parents that you knew that their house was safe, and you could go there and you could ask them for food, and everybody has that advice. That's the kind of impact that you're making, and it makes you want to be better.
For sure. I love it. This has been a great conversation. I know we're about to wrap it up, so I want to do the questions and answers. We did get some in.
Let's do it.
I know I was excited about this one, so hopefully this is the first time I really do a Q&A. I don't really do questions and answers on my podcast, but here we go. We got some good feedback.
All right, let's see.
I don't know if you need to take notes or anything, but you're gonna go off the cuff right here, off the dome.
Both, let's see.
So the first question. Oh, by the way, we're gonna keep these all anonymous because there is more than half people want to be left anonymous.
Oh yeah.
So all right, just to make it simpler, I'm just not gonna say who it was from. I'll just make them all anonymous. Yeah. So the first question is a recommendation for protein shakes for men.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, so when it comes to protein shakes, knowing the ingredients, you always want to make sure that it has 25 or more grams of protein. As far as brands, there's a few that I like that I always recommend. I like the brand Legion because they don't put chemicals in their product. It's very clean. There's no sugar. It's pure protein. The vitamin NutriShop has some great brands too. I always tell people, if you're not sure if this is a good protein powder or protein shake, take a picture of the label and send it to me. So that's open to anyone. So any of your listeners, if they're not sure, take a picture of it, because sometimes there's a lot of false advertising when it comes to protein. It'll say this has 30 grams of protein and it's like 10, and everything else is just fillers, and you see that a lot.
That's with any kind of vitamins and protein.
Absolutely. And I always,
nutrients.
Yes, I always say GNC is the worst place to buy your stuff. Don't go there. Don't go to GNC.
So there goes my sponsorship with GNC that I was about to get.
The protein there, no bueno.
All right. So 25 grams of 25 clean grams of protein.
And it has to be actual. And you could, and there's like places where they have links where they could show you the actual milligrams
Okay.
for that company.
Yeah.
So there's a
Also,
lot
you
of
could do
research
your
out there.
research online before you
Yeah,
start
absolutely.
buying.
Or take a picture and send it to me, and
There you
I'll
go.
let you know.
So, question number 2: how to know if you have the gift, and how to dig deeper into your spiritual side.
Okay, so we all have the gift.
Okay.
The gift of intuition or your gut feeling. We all have it.
Yeah.
Sometimes, have you ever had an experience where you're like, I should have listened to my gut? Like you
Yeah,
just
my gut
knew,
feeling,
right?
whatever. Yeah.
And you just knew that how you shouldn't have gone out that day,
Yeah.
or you just knew, but you ignored it. That's your spiritual sense, right? That's your body's soul alarm. It's your gut feeling, but we always ignore it.
Yeah.
We never regret because we ignore it and
Of
we knew
course.
better. So you have that. Some people have that intuition where they could feel other people's energy. Like you could meet someone, you're like, oh, this person's giving me a
Yeah.
bad vibe.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I don't know about this
Mhm.
person. That's another form of a gift. Some people see things are very sensitive and they kind of question it.
Yeah.
So you have that kind of gifts, and then some people have the gift of visions, whether it's in dreams, you could have dreamt something before, and some people just get visions, right? Then you have the people that are talented in other ways, like people that could create music out of nothing. That's a gift, right? People that are math wizards. That's a gift, right? It's how we use those gifts, right? So everyone has a gift. Everyone is special in their own way. How do you develop it? How do you develop the spiritual side? That's a tougher question because I think before you could develop like a true spiritual relationship,
Yeah.
you have to love yourself. You have to admit if you're hurting. You have to admit if all the things are your faults, right? And you have to heal and forgive people, and start working towards that, right? And knowing also that God is your best friend. You could just talk to him like normal. Like there's nothing that you can't say. Like I always tell people, like talk to God like if it's your homegirl or your homeboy. Like, hey man, what the hell? What's going
Hey, bro,
on?
what
Like,
are we going through
yeah.
right now? You know?
and that's how I talk. I'll be like, dude, really? Like
Yeah.
really? Like what's going on? Talk to me. Like
Yeah.
it's your best friend, So just learning to practice that. You can also meditating are different forms to develop the spiritual side. When meditating, I don't mean just like sitting down and closing your eyes. I mean,
Yeah.
I could do that, fall into it because I practice it. But meditating could be just turning the music on, doing things that relax you. That what you're trying to do is not overthink and worry at that time,
Mhm.
right? Go for a walk. Maybe for you, when you meditate, could be working on editing your podcast. It just calms you
Yeah.
down, right? That's another way to build your relationship as well, your spiritual side.
So everybody has a gift,
Everything.
and you gotta learn to love yourself, love God, believing in it
Mhm.
is another way of getting into your deeper side of
Yeah,
the
and
spiritual side.
if you see something, you saw it. Don't question it.
Don't ignore
You
it.
don't ignore
Oh
it.
yeah,
You saw it.
don't ignore it. You gotta address it too, right?
Right. Yeah.
All right. Question number 3. Is there any way to prevent the psychedelic effect of ayahuasca?
No.
There's no way.
Man,
Sorry,
you
there's
can't
no way.
prevent it. Like,
Yeah, that's the whole point of it, right?
That's the whole point of it. Yeah.
All right. But it is.
Yeah.
Is it safe? Yes, in a controlled environment,
Yes.
right?
Absolutely.
So, and do you recommend it?
Yes. I
Alright.
recommend it in a controlled environment. Don't start buying it from someone.
No, no.
Yeah, please don't.
Don't go buy it
Yeah.
from Chucho down
Yeah.
the street because Chucho doesn't have your best
Yeah,
interests.
exactly. Yeah, please be very careful.
All right. Question number 4. Do you recommend fasting? If so, which fasting routine is best for beginners?
Great.
Fasting for
Yes,
beginners.
100%. I
Yeah.
recommend intermittent fasting. Yeah, I recommend that everybody does it. We all fast already naturally when we're
When we're
asleep,
asleep,
right? But fasting has so many benefits for your body because it allows your body to recycle itself, right? And it
Purge.
to purge itself, and it also allows your mind to get rid of some of that fog, right? It clears up your mind, and it also helps you like burn fat. It helps like fight like diabetes and heart diseases. For women, the recommended time for fasting is, I would say, from 12 to 14 14 hours is a recommended time. The max maybe 16. For men, the recommended time to fast is 16 to 18 hours. Yeah, so that's what the fasting. Yeah,
And health benefits to that? Are they?
It's
great?
there's great health benefits to that. And then when you're fasting, you still consume liquids, just not like food.
It's just not solids.
Yeah, not solids. Yeah.
Coffee's okay.
Coffee's fine. Water.
Beer.
No, not beer, because beer has calories. It's gonna break your fast.
Okay, so I can't do that. All right, thank you. No, I think we're at 5. What advice would you give to someone who is seeking to direct their life towards a more holistic life?
Ooh.
Kind of coincides with the spiritual one.
Yeah, it's about balance, right? Like you want to have a more holistic. What it means is combining everything that's going on, emotional, like emotional fitness, health, mental, your emotions, right? Everything is combined to full circle. That's a holistic approach to it. It starts honestly with what you're eating, right? What you're feeding your body. Cutting out like processed foods, like things that are made in a lab is the easiest way to put it. If you can't grow it in dirt, or kill it, like the cow or whatever, then don't consume it, right? And then as far like emotional, I think that everyone should see a therapist. Every single person should have access, even children, to therapy, because there's some things that we can't talk to our partners about or to our parents about, right? That we hold inside, and I think like that should be free access. Therapy should be free to everyone, because I think when people hold their emotions inside and their worry, it makes them sick. Like I really think it makes you sick, and it's very important for everyone to, and we need to remove that stigma away from it, because we see it over and over again with our veterans, that they don't get that help, and it turns they have PTSD and they have nowhere to turn to, and they end up taking their lives. Or children that are getting bullied and they can't come talk to the parents, right? And they take their lives, right? People that go to depression. We need to take away the stigma of getting help. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong to talking to someone, and it should be accessible, and it's not. That's why I offer. So every 3 months, I offer free life coaching I'll pick one teenager or a child, one male, one female, and then a veteran every single time. And I provide 3 months of free therapy services. And then even after that, they pay it's like $45 for an hour, like, which is nothing. So I try to make it affordable. So I think everyone should have access to that. And then you have your physical, which is working out, exercising, keeping your mind, your body active is also very important. And then you have the spiritual side, which is a relationship with God and the universe, building that up. You can't have one without the other.
So having an actual therapy wouldn't be the same, or doesn't equate to the same as having or doing something that's therapeutic, right? Like gardening or
you could that helps too. That could be your like
a form of it, I guess.
Yeah, that's a form of it. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. For some people, gym is their therapy.
Yeah.
People do not go into the gym if there's nothing wrong about themselves that they don't like. Every person that goes into a gym is because they want to better themselves. Yeah. Either they're going through a breakup, or their doctor told them, hey, you need to get into the gym, you're going to have high blood pressure, or you have someone that's so overworked and stressed out, and that's their relief. People go to gym because they're trying to better themselves, and that's such a great way of therapy as well.
Cool. Hopefully that answers your question to get closer to being holistic. So, if we can take pictures of lightning, why has there never been a picture of a ghost?
That I want to debunk that, because there are pictures of ghosts.
Okay.
They are out there. There are videos with ghosts where it gets captured, and there have been scientific proof of ghosts.
There is scientific proof?
Yeah, there is.
Because I'm one of those where I go.
There's paranormal university.
Pictures. You get certain glare that comes in, or like there's a lot of like little dust, and then it looks like a speck, and it's something that you might think that there's
Yeah.
an aura around.
Right. I've seen people send me pictures and they'll tell me, what is this? And some of it's like, oh no, it's just like a glare. You know?
Yeah.
And there's some that they'll send me and I'm like, please don't send me that. Like
Really?
there is, that's like a ghost.
So
that's
you-
a demon.
You
I
that
can
have
see it.
your gift, are you able to see a picture and go, that's a real
Yes,
ghost?
yes,
Okay.
yeah.
So you
I've
have
had,
seen
yeah,
this.
and I had people send me videos from the Ring camera too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
That's
So
hard.
I had, there was
Wait, do
one.
you have it on your phone? You can show me after this?
Oh,
After this?
I have to look for it, but I'll, you know what, I'll
Okay.
send it. I had
Yeah.
one that I deleted because, so this lady messaged me on Instagram and she's like, Cheli, there's something in my Ring camera. It scared me. I don't know what it is. And I said, okay, well, send it to me. Let me look at it. So I'm looking at the video and I just hear, turn it off, like don't look at it. And I got like this sense of like danger, like alert.
Yeah.
And I saw like something like a dark figure and I turned it off immediately. They said, absolutely not. And I said, there's a demon in your home. They said, you need to take this and go to the nearest church and ask for help. I said, I'm so sorry, I can't help you. And I deleted that video from my
Really?
phone. Absolutely, 100%. I wouldn't even look at it. I'm like, yeah, don't send me that.
Got chills.
Yeah. Have you heard of that? What's that guy? The guy's name? From Ghost Hunters or Ghost Adventures. He has a museum in LA. Zach, something. I can't think of his name. Horrible with names.
No.
But he has this museum in Vegas
Okay.
where he collects like all these haunted objects,
Okay.
and he
The one
stores
that has
them.
like the Annabelle doll on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they collect all these objects, and he has this house they turned into a museum.
Uh-huh.
Do tours. So I went there. Like, I think it was like 2 years ago with Mia. That's a whole other episode,
Yeah.
man. I'm gonna. I always say I'm not gonna go back, but I might go back. I don't know, but he collects like haunted dolls and pictures and artifacts. Some are have demonic entities attached to it that he keeps like behind, like in a closed case.
Uh-huh.
When I went there, I got attacked. Mia saw something too. She was crying. Like everybody had some kind of paranormal experience.
Yeah.
It is bad.
Wow.
Like if you want to get debunked, go there. Like you know. And I went with one of my with my friends. It's this couple. They don't my friend. He doesn't believe in the supernatural, but he's curious about it.
Okay.
So, and his wife too. She's like, she believes it. Like she knows it's like online, but doesn't scare her.
Mhm.
And I always tell them it's because you guys don't see what I see.
Yeah.
Like you guys don't realize how strong it is.
Mhm.
And I love going with them because I use them as a shield for me. Like, because I know like they immediately know when something's wrong with me, or if I see something, like they're like, what'd you see? What'd you see?
Yeah, yeah.
And like they're always like they know like when my personality changes, and they already know, and I feel safe with them. Like if something were to happen to me, or if I were to get attacked, I know they would drag me out, or and I don't think they realize how strong their faith is as well, because if darkness feeds off fear, right? And if you have like, oh, I don't believe in good or evil, I don't believe in that, I think that puts you in a safe spot too, right? Because it doesn't make you vulnerable to it. And there's nothing worse than not believing in the devil, because the devil loves to be revered and think it's powerful and that he's better than God.
Yeah.
And there's nothing worse that they hate. So I always say, if you experience or see something, please do not fall into that fear of it.
Yeah.
You know.
You know, I guess I'm kind of like that, where I've never encountered anything like that. So I tend to be more of I don't really believe it. So I believe in good and evil.
Right.
Right. Is there a devil? I'm sure. I believe in God. I think there's a higher presence, so there has to be something to combat that, right?
Right.
Unfortunately, but just because I've never encountered a ghost or anything weird, I just don't believe it, and I think maybe that's why I don't, because I don't have fear of it, because I don't believe it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
so-
you haven't experienced it,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I guess one day, hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not, but one day.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. All right. So let's see. Here's another one. This is funny. I like this one. What does she enjoy most about being a chef? So, go ahead.
you go ahead. Go
Okay,
ahead.
I left this one in because it was a mistake. Because when I posted it, it looks like it says Araceli Reyes, but I think when you first glance, it might, and you're not really reading it, it might just look like Chef Reyes. So I know I want to leave that in there, but any special dishes that you like? Any favorite dishes that you make
Yeah,
at home?
traditional Mexican food.
Okay.
I love cooking, like making birria and tamales
Yeah.
and pozole and anything that's traditional, like Mexican traditional food.
Yeah.
That's my therapy.
Okay.
Like cooking. Like I like to turn on the music, have a little beer, a little glass
Nice,
of
yeah.
wine, and I love cooking for my family and for my friends. I love hosting. I love having barbecues. I love grilling.
Yeah.
Like that's my therapy.
Alright.
And I think that the when you're in a good mood, your food comes out good. But when you're in a
Yeah.
crappy mood, you're gonna burn everything. It's gonna be no
Everything
seasoning.
sticks to the
It's just
pot.
horrible.
Yeah.
But if you're cooking in such a happy spirit, everything comes out good because you're transferring that energy,
energy.
that positivity
Yeah.
to your food.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that a lot
Yeah.
too. I do. All right, there you go. So Mexican food at Cheli's
Yeah.
house. What does a man over 40 need to know about staying healthy? Man over 40 health.
Lift weights.
Lift weights.
Lift weights 100%, and it's not to like, and even women over 40, and it's not because not for looks but for your health, to maintain the muscle, because after 40 women lose a pound of muscle after 40 every year. Men lose 2 pounds of muscle after 40. After 45 it goes up. After 50 goes up higher.
Okay.
And that is why elderly people shrink. If you
Yeah.
see them, they're
Uh-huh.
shrink or they're hunched over, it's
Hunched
because they
over.
have no muscle. Their muscle doesn't
Doesn't
grow.
stretch.
It stops growing and it starts shrinking. So
Yeah.
we're losing muscle mass. So that's like the best advice. If anything is like lift weights to maintain what you already have so that you could be healthy. Because for me, 40 is such a young age still. Like it's so young. And I think we're aging longer or we're living longer.
Yeah.
So lift weights, guys. Like it's the best thing. Men and women, it's the best thing that you could do. And then I would also say limit your sugar. That's sugar is huge because everything, our food has a lot of sugar in it, and sugar feeds cancer cells. And get checked. I know, like the men, if you're feeling sick, go get checked. Like don't wait till the last minute. It could be something. Yeah, it could be something that you could prevent. And then if you want to retire and live a long, happy life and travel, take care of yourselves. Your energy, starts to go down as you age naturally. With women, we lose estrogen. With men, testosterone. And working out builds all that up. And it also like takes away some of the stress too.
Did you see
So-
her? I didn't see
Oh
her
no,
earlier. You saw her earlier?
no, I
Yeah,
didn't.
she pressed up. My patio camera went off my wife, you guys. Sorry. Okay, so workout
Mhm.
and less sugar.
The sugar, yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. 'cause
I don't
I'm in
believe
my
like
40s, and
I
do
don't
that.
I don't
Definitely
believe
do that.
in limiting your food. Having control over what you eat, yes. Obviously, if you have like diabetes or heart disease or high blood pressure, cholesterol, yes. Change your food so that you can reverse. It's reversible, right? Doctors are not going to cure you. I'm going to tell you this right now. Doctors are there to give you medicine. Give you medicine and send you on your way. They're not going to. They'll be like, hey, you know what, Fidel? You might have a heart attack if you keep going down this path. Here's some medicine for your high blood pressure. I'll check you. Come see me in 3 months.
Yeah.
That's it.
There's more money in medicating.
Oh,
people,
yeah,
right, than
there's more
curing them.
There's more money, and people are rich from sick people.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's sad.
It's so sad.
So I know there was a point in time where it wasn't like that, where doctors were. I think nurses are probably the most ones that like want to help out
Right.
because they don't, they're there to help. But
Mhm.
doctors, somewhere along the lines, it was just became. I think pharmaceuticals have a lot to do with it.
Mhm.
It became a business.
Yeah, here in the States, when it comes to getting help for medicine, it's all money.
Yeah.
They're not here to help us get better. They're here to kill us or keep us medicated. Like what happened with the guy that killed the CEO,
All right.
right? That's huge.
Perfect example.
And why were people so happy? And they were like, they saw him as a hero.
Yeah.
These were all people that were denied access to healthcare, or that lost somebody, or that they saw that they couldn't get chemo treatment,
Yeah.
or they denied their benefits. So nobody felt sorry for them. It's
Yeah.
like, why? You're killing us,
Mhm.
right? And the new president of Mexico, she just made this law where medicine is free,
Okay.
right? So if the doctor prescribes you a medicine, a prescription, you go to the pharmacy and it's free. You don't pay for it.
Mhm.
Universal healthcare. A lot of countries have that.
I think Canada, right?
Yeah,
Isn't
they have
Canada one of
universal
them?
healthcare, and we don't.
No,
We don't.
we're greedy.
We're greedy. Yeah, yeah,
Have me a stay in Spain.
yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Seriously, yeah, yeah.
All right. Thank you. Okay, so what's good to eat for someone diagnosed with severe anemia?
Ooh, foods high in iron, like your beans, your leafy greens. Those are all great caldos because they have a lot of iron in it.
Yeah.
Anything that has high iron is good.
Some
for
soup, some
anemia.
chicken
Yeah.
soup, some beef soup.
Beef soup, bean broth is good. Beef broth, that's all. That's all.
So
Keep
just
eating that.
a lot of iron.
You could fix that immediately. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. And the last question here I have is, what is the best type of magnesium to take?
Ooh, everybody should be taking magnesium.
Yeah.
I take it every single day.
Yeah. You take it in the evening?
I take it in the morning.
Morning.
And so I have two forms of magnesium. One is in powder, so I mix that with water and I take that one in the morning.
Okay.
If I forget for some reason I'm rushing out and I don't have time to take it, then at night I'll take my pills,
Your pill.
my magnesium pill, and I use that. Yes, absolutely. Magnesium and zinc are one of like the supplements that we are all lacking because we don't get those nutrients anymore naturally from our foods. So I could send you some links to the best magnesium, but you could take a powder or pill form.
Okay.
Mhm.
And is that one like the other one we spoke about, the grams, the protein shake? Does this magnesium have a certain? Has to be a
I
certain
would
one?
say,
Is there fake
take-
magnesium out there? Is what I'm trying to say.
There's magnesium that has fillers in it.
Okay.
So it just depends on what the brand is. So do your research on the
Okay.
brand. Every good company is gonna have scientific data to back that product that they're
Mhm.
putting out there. And if they don't have it, don't buy it from them.
Okay.
If you can't get access to their scientific study of their product, don't buy it.
Don't buy it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, there you go. Take your magnesium. Take your vitamins. Your magnesium.
Mhm.
That's
Vitamin
healthy.
D too, because
Vitamin
a lot of people don't go outside anymore.
No,
Especially
yeah.
the kids, you know.
Yeah, I've been taking my multivitamin with vitamin D, just barely.
Yeah.
I'm really bad about taking my vitamins.
I think we are.
Yeah, terrible. And I have magnesium, and I don't take it at night. I always forget.
It's so good
So
for
it's
you.
like, I know I need to start taking magnesium.
Yeah, take it. Just
So thanks for the
take
reminder.
it every day. Like because it helps with anxiety, helps with stress.
Mhm.
It really does calm you down. I never skip it. And then the zinc. If you're ever feeling like you're getting sick, start popping that in.
Yeah.
Because zinc, yeah, it's really good for you. Helps build up your immunity.
Mhm.
Because like we don't have the same. Our food that we have now is not as healthy as it was before. There's a lot of vitamins and nutrients that are missing from the food because one is developed in labs, most of it, the GMO, right?
Mhm.
They're
Yeah.
modified, or because we have pesticides, right? And it kills all the nutrients off their food. So I would just be, very careful what you're consuming and putting in your body.
Yeah.
You know?
All right. Be smart about it, you guys. Don't just take anything.
Yeah, and then be very careful right now with the vegetables and fruits that you're buying that are at the grocery stores. Make sure that they say like GMO free, that they're not made in a lab.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
even the meat, like I don't know if you noticed, like the quality of the meat right now is kind of like questionable.
Mhm.
It's like
Yeah.
some chicken's like very weird looking, like
Yeah.
it looks rubbery,
Yeah.
and yeah, just
And then the egg situation right now.
Oh,
there's
I
like this weird shortage of
know.
eggs.
yeah, and I think it was. What did I see the last time? It was like $9 for 12 dozen eggs.
Yeah.
I was like,
That's
what the
crazy.
heck?
That's
I'm
like
like, I don't
the
need
toilet
eggs.
paper. Remember how
Right,
everyone
yeah.
about toilet paper?
Yeah.
Jeez,
And now you have like this bird flu,
Mhm.
Before we leave, I did wanted to do a reading and see what to expect for this year.
Okay.
What should we look out for? Is it a good time to buy a house or what's going on?
Yeah.
Want to do that?
All right. Of
All
course.
right.
Right now it's January 13th, 2024, about
All right.
1:30 p.m. So we'll do a or reading for
Yeah.
everybody out
And then
there.
when something happens, you could come back to this one.
All right. Is there anything? Should I just be quiet and watch you?
Yeah, you
Or
could. Yeah, if there's anything that you want to know or you want to ask, you could just ask me.
Okay.
That's fine
Sure,
too.
good
Like
enough.
if you're like, hey, Cheli, can I buy a car right now or a house or what's gonna happen? Yeah,
Alright.
yeah. If you think of anything, let me know.
I'm sure something will pop up.
So let's see what does the audience need to know, or what does the world need to know? Let's see.
So if you see any of Shelly's live videos, her readings, you'll see her do a lot of this right here, and you're wondering what she's doing. This is how she focuses and she taps into that side, that spiritual side of her, where she does that reading. So, just in case you guys were wondering, but I don't know. There's a lot of things I would like to know. Lottery numbers, but I know she won't give me those.
Yeah.
I already asked her. My parents have a property inside their house. They don't know what to do with it. People keep walking all over it. They pay taxes on it. What should they do with that property?
Oh, that's a good question. So the first thing that's coming in is if people want to expand their spiritual side or build on their spiritual side, is that they need to expand their relationship with God and acknowledging that there is a heaven.
Okay.
That's the first message coming in.
All right. Hopefully the audio can pick up the scribbling there, everybody would know what she's doing.
The news media is not our friend. They are made everything that you see in the news, do not believe in it. Do not trust it. Everything is being told to us as a distraction, right? They're showing us things that are not important. There's bigger things happening, and they're trying to distract us.
Yeah,
Okay?
kind of like Wizard of Oz, right?
Yeah. That's actually a good way to put it.
Yeah. So how should we get our information, right? Like if we can't go to the news media, Instagram is probably not the best for it. Even though people will say that social media, you'll get a lot of the truthers and a lot of real information. But how real can it be? You know, that's my question all the time.
The food shortage that we're experiencing right now is just the beginning. We expect for there to be a water shortage as well, starting in March. So I would say start buying waters, filter water, keep gallons of water, try to keep as much of it. You know how they say, like, be prepared.
Yeah.
Right. So that's going to be something where we're going to be impacted as well.
Well, here in
They
LA,
get very
just-
expensive.
The water.
Oh yeah. That's one of the
We're
issues,
already
right?
seeing some of that stuff already with LA. Like, right, there's a shortage of water. That's why everything got burned down. And it's just like I guess, like you said, the beginning of it.
Yeah. Let's see what else.
Always be prepared, everybody. Prepare yourselves. You never know when. I guess I could ask if I have any loved ones on the other side, if they ever want to come out and speak to me or give me signs. You know?
We're going to see more exposure, and people are going to be having more sightings when it comes to aliens or other world beings. Not everything that we're being told is true. There's a lot of stuff being hidden or being, like, they're making it seem like it's something else. We already know there are aliens that do exist, but not all of them are good. Some are here to hurt us. Okay.
So we do have good aliens.
Yes, there are. Yes, there's a division. There's some that are here to protect us, and they do care about humanity and the world. But then we also have ones that want to take over. So it's like a constant battle. Yeah.
And we're stuck in the middle.
And we're stuck in the middle of it. Absolutely.
Yeah, they've recently been talking about the aliens.
Yeah.
Like the FBI, not the FBI, the CIA and all that,
Mhm,
the
yeah.
government, the government.
Yeah, they already just like they kind of like I think they already gave up in hiding it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
now it's like they're here. Like
Yeah. These
they've,
people have way
they've
too many
always been here.
resources. Yeah.
Yeah, they've always been here. Every story that you heard of people with alien sightings, they're like, oh, they're crazy.
Yeah.
It's true.
Mhm.
You know, it's true. It's like another thing, like, oh well, I haven't seen one, so it's not real. Type
Yeah.
of thing, you know.
Yeah. Same.
So let's see what else is gonna come on. And this is all events that are happening this year. They're gonna just
Okay.
start coming to light. Let's see.
Obviously, for the listeners only and not watching, you guys know that she's scribbling on a piece of paper to. That's how she taps into that spiritual side to get. So you'll hear her talk pretty soon. That's a
Okay.
long one, Cheli.
Yeah. So this next one that's coming in is there's going to be a leak when it comes to our children's records. Let's say like school records or medical records. There's going to be a leak when it comes to that where it's going to affect the safety of our children. So it is up to parents right now to revoke any access to their kids' information. So if they say, okay, we use your children's photo for a yearbook or whatever to promote, say no.
Yeah.
We have, as parents, we have to be very vigilant. There are going to be raids on school campuses where they're going to take kids away. So anyone that speaks up, let's say against immigration or against our current government, they're going to threaten it through our children.
Jeez.
So our children's security is very, very critical.
Yeah.
We're entering a very critical moment.
Well, take care of your kids.
Yeah, please take care of your kids. They're going to try to teach them things that are not. How do I say it? They have nothing to do with education.
Oh.
You know, they're going to try to put their beliefs into our school system. So, and you see it, they're trying to do away already with the Department of Education and access. They're going to try to limit the educational access for kids that have disabilities and for low income. They're going to try to take away free lunches and stuff like that. They're going to attack us through the thing that we love the most, which is our children.
Attack the vulnerable.
Exactly, 100%. Yeah. And you say you had a question?
About my parents'
Their property? Okay, let's see.
They have a vacant lot right next to
vacant lot?
their house.
Okay, let's see.
Trying to see what they're gonna do with that lot. Should they sell it? Should they invest in it? I don't know. I know some people might be thinking you should be asking a realtor that. Someone that's in the professional aspect, but this is interesting too.
Okay, this vacant lot, if it's not gated right now, that should be gated. They could use it to grow or to plant things if it's possible. Use it for that. Do install like a water line because it's gonna add more value to the property. But tell them not to sell it, to pass it down to the children because it's gonna grow up in value. It's gonna be in high demand. So just to hold on to it and just to gate it off.
Okay.
Gate off access.
All right. I guess the other one was, is there any of my relatives or anyone from the afterlife, from the other world that would like to contact me or send out a message
Okay. Let's see.
to any of my loved ones, you know? this one almost never works for me. So just so you guys were wondering, like she does, I've asked many times and it doesn't always work. So sometimes I just don't want to talk. Probably another reason why she doesn't charge. Sometimes it's not your time.
Okay, so what's coming in for you is like you have many options to change your life, but you're like choosing to stay where at this loop, like I guess like a loophole, like instead of moving forward. There's some hesitation in your part where you're just choosing to stay in this, how can I say it, in this time, in this moment, when you have such so many abundance of opportunities, you just need that. You need to believe in yourself, and you need that push, because you're always like, oh, it's not time, it's not time, it's not time, and you keep using that as an excuse, like, oh, it's gonna get better. Maybe in a year from now, right now, I have too much going on. You keep pushing the things that you want to do.
Procrastinating.
Exactly. Yeah. So you have to stop doing that. Okay.
I'm kind of notorious for that, I guess.
Let's see what else. Okay, as far as lending people money, especially family members, for these next 2 years, just say no, because you're going to need that extra money, because you're gonna have some situations where financially you're gonna need money. Because something could break in your house where you're gonna be like, oh, I need to redo all the piping or plumbing in the home, and you're gonna need that money. Because there's certain individuals that you lend money to where you know you're never gonna get it back, right? And where it's already gonna be a loss.
Yeah.
So be very careful who you lend money to, because you might not get it back, and you're gonna be stuck in a situation, and you're gonna have anyone to help you.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. You need to bring more awareness to topics and conversations that affects the Latino community or the Hispanic community. You need to be a safe space of information for people, because they're going to need those resources. So you need to expand your audience. You need to bring in people that can provide services to help, because we're entering this era where our communities and our people are going to be under attack, and it's going to get worse every single day. So bringing up people that have access to resources, that like lawyers or people that work in immigration, or volunteers, or people that help kids, or anything that helps improve our community. You need to start finding those people and bringing them in, because you're going to be a good resource for others.
Okay.
That's how you're going to change people's life. That's how you're going to help people.
Okay.
And a lot of people won't speak about topics like that.
Yeah, they don't want to.
They don't want to.
It's taboo, or they don't want to be
taboo
typecasted.
or typecasted, but it's gonna be. But people need that.
Okay.
Yeah, so that should be included.
All right.
Okay.
Cool. There's a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah. Sometimes, and that's one of the things. Like, with readings, it could be overwhelming. It could be a lot of information, and you're like, it's a lot to take in, and you're gonna feel a certain way. And I always tell people, whatever comes in, the message is not for me to make sense out of. It's for you. You do with it whatever you want. You could choose to follow it or not.
Yeah.
Right? But you're getting a blueprint to make your life better. Right? Whether it's avoiding bad choices, whether it's helping you make a better choice to better yourself or your family, or whether it's getting closer to grief or relationships, or closing the door on the past, or helping with trauma, whatever the reading is that you need, is to help you feel better and to help you grow and have a better life, and to make your soul feel better.
Yeah.
You know, you should never walk away with doubt or fear or feel hopelessness, right? So at the end of the day, it's gonna be up to you what you decide to do with that information.
All right. Thank you. I was telling the listeners how numerous times I've asked, like, hey, someone from the other side, like a relative of mine that wants to come and talk to me, and I always tell them, like, the reason, a good reason why you don't charge would be they don't always want to come in, right? Like, and be
right,
present themselves to me.
Right.
Whereas if I was to go to someone that just wants to take my money, he's probably gonna make up something or try to guess, like, hey, someone here's coming in, it's not whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I've asked you several times, and sometimes it just doesn't come up. Like right now, you know, like, it just doesn't come up.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, you do have an aunt that's very close to you, who passed away, I would say, maybe 5 years ago, so around that time, who's always attached to you. But also, you have to be able to open up that part of you.
Yeah.
Like, if you're blocked off, it's harder for you to get those messages. It's not that they don't want to come through for you, it's that they're there. Like, she's there, she's always watching over you. You know, it's not that they don't want to come through, it's just that you block off.
not allowing it.
You're not allowing
I always say it, but I think I don't really.
Yeah, you have to, like,
mean it.
really. Yeah, exactly. You
You know
could
what I mean?
say it, but then a part of you, the inner part of you is like, okay, I don't really mean it.
That's
Like,
me
I don't.
fighting it. That's my what is it? What did I say?
Right.
My anti.
Yeah,
believer.
anti-believer. Yeah, you're skeptical.
My skeptical.
Yeah, the
My
skeptics,
skepticism.
and it does happen. Or sometimes what happens too, that the people that do, that do ask, I want to talk. Like, my dad passed away, I want to talk to them. But the thing is, like, your dad's there ready to talk to you, but you're not ready to listen. You're not ready to receive that message because you're still stuck in the pain. Like, you haven't, you might have guilt for not saying goodbye, and you have a lot of, or maybe you didn't tell that person that you love them enough, and you carry that guilt, or the pain of losing someone is so strong. You're not ready yet, and I could sense that. If you're not ready, like, I'll tell you, you're not ready yet. Like, give yourself more time to heal and accept the fact that this person left without questioning why. You know, and for some, like, losing a child, you know, it's not like, it's too painful to connect with them yet, right? Because your heart is still hurting for them. You know, there's so, you know, many reasons like that.
Yeah, with the aunt that I think you're talking about, I didn't know I was as close to her, or that I loved her so much until she was gone.
So she was
You know what I
gone. Oh, okay, that
That's
makes
one of
sense.
those
That's why
things.
she's so attached to you.
Maybe,
Yeah, and it's actually, that's so true. Like, you don't realize what an impact a person made until they're gone.
Yeah.
And then you realize, like, damn, that was a good person. And yeah, I wasn't around enough. I didn't visit this person around, but they were always good to me. You know, and then you feel the loss, and that loss might hit you days after, weeks after a memory comes up, and then you start to mourn that person. It might not be immediate, you know?
What a trip.
Yeah.
All right, Cheli.
Yeah.
Muchas gracias. Thank you very much.
It's always a pleasure. I love coming on here. I love
it's always good.
talking to your people.
I always say, hey, we're gonna keep it short.
It
an
never
hour.
happens.
It never happens. Last time we recorded for almost 3 hours.
Yeah, and then the video didn't even say, because there's so much to talk about, dude.
We got into some crazy
and I
shit
love,
too.
like, look, I love having a podcast, you know, with Fidel, because I like to debunk him, and right, like, I love when he brings all these topics. I'm like, let's talk about it, and I love that because it doesn't bother me, right? Like, it doesn't bother me, and there's so much going on. Like, to talk about, like just so many topics and stuff like that. And I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love it. You're
Yeah.
always welcome here, Cheli. So
Thank you.
you and Mia, you guys are always welcome.
Yeah,
So
whenever you have a topic, whenever you want to talk about
when
it,
you guys are ready
let's
to
do it.
revive the podcast.
I can't wait for
do
it.
something over here, or I'll go over there, whatever.
Yeah, and like I was telling Mia, because when something happens, like to us, I'm like, like I gotta talk about this. This just happened, you know. Then you just want to share it.
Yeah.
And I think like my experiences, like me and my daughter, like we're very real. Like we talk about anything and everything.
Yeah.
Even like our family members don't listen to it because they're like, that's too much. I don't want to know that about them.
Yeah.
But we're very honest and we're very true to who we are. We're not fake people. We have a good heart, and I feel that we can't help others if we're fake, right? You know, everyone has insecurities. Everybody has issues. Everybody has problems. Nobody has a perfect life, so it's kind of nice to know that we all have our flaws, right? And because we live in such a world where people only post the good stuff, and they never talk about the bad stuff.
Negative.
They might have relationships in their marriage, and they might be posting, "Oh, this is the love of my life," but I'm like, "Hey, I know that man. Like, he was in my DMs. Like, he's a liar. Like, you know, things like that, or they try to flash things that they don't have, you know, and that's not the case. Like, people appreciate real people." You know, and we just don't give them that credit. But I will always, when it comes to readings and helping people, I'm always going to be straight out with you. I'm always going to be honest. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to make stuff up. Because in reality, I have nothing to gain from it. You know, I'm not looking to gain anything monetary from it. I'm here because I really do want to help people. And I want to expand their knowledge, and I want people to know that this world here, there's more beyond that. And I think that's going to be shown as time goes on, as we go more deeper into this year. I think a lot of people are going to be praying and tapping into the spiritual side, because it's going to be so much bad stuff that people are just going to get tired of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Have to seek out for that help, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, you guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Cheli, for coming out and sharing your story with the toad, with the Bufo. It's amazing. So I highly recommend you guys. If you're interested, do your research and try out some of that stuff, because it may benefit you as much as it benefited her. So there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure it's like he said, by a professional in a controlled environment. Yeah.
All right, you guys.
All right,
take care. Adios. Till next time. I'm trying to do a sign off. To do it again. This is great.
Breathing in your chest, infects your lungs. You find a rush followed by boils.